All right, welcome back. We are still on Unit 3. We are looking at the inequalities, systems of inequalities. Okay, so just a couple things to remember. If you have this sign, it's going to be a dotted line, and you are going to shade below because this stands for less than. If you have this symbol greater than, it will be a dotted line or a dashed line, which we called it in class, and you are going to shade above. If it is less or equal, it will be a solid line, and you will shade below because it's less. Greater or equal will be a solid line, and you will shade above. Okay, so first things first, I see that we are going to have one solid. Okay, this is a solid line, and this is a dotted line, so we will have one of each. So one solid and one dotted means this cannot be the answer because those are both dotted, solid, dotted, solid, dotted, dotted, solid. Okay, so it's going to be one of these three answer choices. So I'm going to pick the first one, and I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to type this into the graph. And I don't want the equal sign because I want it to be an inequality. So I'm going to hit delete, and I'm going to change it to the less than or equal, negative 3x minus 4. Hit graph. Does that match what I have here? That looks like nothing. That's shaded on the wrong side. So that is not my answer. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to change this to answer C. So I want it to be less or equal to a positive 3x minus 4. And it looks like that. Does that look like, why is it so blurry? There we go. Okay. Does that match what we have here? Has a solid line shaded below, solid line here shading below, so that's good. And I'm going to do the other one, so I'm going to hit tab. Okay. Tab to enter second equation. All right, the second one is y is greater. All right, so to do this, y is greater, I'm going to hit there's an equal sign right here. Mine's rubbed off. Right beside the trig, there's an equal sign right there, and that will allow you, oops, not the equal sign, control equal, we'll get that little menu back. Control equal to put the sign in there, the inequality sign. Okay, so for part C, I want the greater without the equal, negative 2x plus 5. Oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, I have an equal sign and an inequality. That won't work. How about that? There we go. So when I look real close, whoa, don't look that close. I hope none of you are epileptic. You might have just had a seizure. I'm sorry. So this is a dotted line, and this one's our solid line. Okay, it's all dashed in there. The shading matches. I think those are the same. That's good. Okay, so remember with our inequality, what this means is anything in this purple section where it's both shadings are like overlapping, any point out here could be a solution. Okay, the other thing to remember that is a solid line is good, a dotted line is bad. So we could have an answer. We could have an answer on a solid line, but we cannot have an answer or a solution on a dotted line. Okay, no solution on a dotted line. Solid lines are good, dotted lines are bad. Okay. All right, number 17. Which point is a solution to the system of inequalities? Okay, now y'all, we could just type this in and we can find where these points are. I agree with that. But what I want to do is I want to change this to y equals, because you are going to have, or we want to get y by itself, this is one of your free response questions where it gives you two equations and you have to show how you change them to y equals and then graph them and find where the solutions are, okay? So I just want to use this as an opportunity to show you that. I understand that this one would be very easy to type into your calculator, but on the free response part, that is not an option, okay? So you need to show your work on changing to get y by itself, okay? So if I want to get this y value right here by itself, I got to get rid of the -3 and I got rid of the 2x, or I have to get rid of the 2x. So we're going to do the 2x first. We're going to subtract that 2x over to the other side, okay? So we have a -3y less -2x and a +5, right? So notice that I don't combine those because one has an x and one doesn't. Those are not like terms. Okay, now I want to get the y by itself still. So it still has that -3 in front of it. So we're going to divide by a -3. And your brain should remember, indicate, that should be a red flag for you. When you divide by a negative, okay, when you divide by a negative, you are going to switch that sign. That says divide by negative, sort of. So we're going to have y. This sign is going to switch to the other way. And we're going to have -2 divided by -3, which becomes +2 over 3. And we have 5 divided by -3, which is a -5/3. Okay. This one would not be very pleasant to graph. This would be our y-intercept right here. This is our y-intercept where we would start on the y-axis. So this would go down almost 2 whole units, not quite, okay? And then from there, this would be our slope. So we're going to graph a slope of up 2 to the right 3, +2, +3, okay? And then once you have that, then you can decide if this is a solid or a dotted line, which way it needs to be shaded, and all of that stuff, okay? So again, I just wanted to show you that process to refresh your memory on changing to y equals, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go back and I'm going to type these into my calculator so that I can see where our solutions are. So we're going to have a relation, and we're going to do 2x minus 3y, and I need my inequalities. So again, control the equal sign pops up that little menu. I want less than 5. Boom. I love that. Tab to get a second equation. -x plus 4y. Control equals. I want greater or equal to -3. Boom. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can scoot in a little bit without giving y'all seizures this time. Okay. Alright, so we're looking for which point is a solution to the system. So I'm going to look at 4, 1. Okay, let me use my pencil. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to 4, 1. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1. Okay, is that a solution to this graph? Okay, it's sitting right there on that solid line at 4, 1. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a solution. 4, 1. Let's look at -1, -1, +1. Which point? Oh, 4, 1 must not be in our solution because that's pretty. Maybe it's a little less. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1. Maybe that's right underneath. Pretty close. We'll put a question mark there instead of a check mark. Okay, we'll come in. -1, +1. -1, +1 is very definitely in that purple region. So that should be an answer. +1, -1 looks like it's in that blue section. That is bad. Has to be in the purple. +1, -2 is very definitely out. Okay, so if I needed to look a little bit closer, I could zoom in or I could plug points in, but I think -1, +1 is very definitely in the purple section. Okay. All right. Number 18, we're matching the graph to our answer choices. So I'm just going to type in the first answer choice. 4y less than x minus 2. Looks like that. That is a dotted line, and it's shaded below, dotted line shaded below, so that looks good. We're going to do our second equation, negative 3x plus y, control equal, greater or equal to 4. That it looks like a solid line over there. Does look the same? I think that looks pretty good. What I'm noticing is that all of these equations, all of my answer choices are exactly the same equation, so I know my lines are right. So basically we're only looking at solid or dotted. So this was the first one. The first one needed to be dotted. The second one needed to be solid. Shaded the right way. So I think that's good. Okay. All right. Again, with the systems, make sure you can do a word problem. This is more knowing your calculator buttons, so hopefully you're going to have those written down on your cheat sheet. Again, one-page cheat sheet, front, back. Okay, cannot use the review itself. Okay, keep working. Love you. One more.